There's a fan here who is dressed like Ichiro, acting
goodness.
like him almost to
Oh my
the
gosh.
exact point. He's watched him once or twice before. You can tell he's done this before.
The most unique batting stance I saw, and it was an honor and a privilege to play with this guy, was Ichiro Suzuki. The man would come up there, he would slide, he would slap the ball all over the place, and he would drive it deep if he needed to. It was amazing to hear a guy with that many hits over the course of his career talk about he's always trying to find ways to improve and had to work on it. So anyone out there watching, even the best hitters in this game are always trying to find ways to get better.
Everybody's different. I mean, if you could say, you look at Ichiro's stance, okay, time out, pal. This is not the way you hit in the big leagues. Maybe this works for you in Japan, but this is not the way you stand, right? Fortunately, no one said that to Ichiro. And, you know, this improbable stance gave him the remarkable Hall of Fame career that he's had.
Coming in at number 24, the Sultan of SWAT, Babe Ruth.
There it is. It's going, it's gone. The greatest home run hitter of all time, Babe Ruth, was a magical name.
Well, he stood in the back of the box, very upright, and with his feet pretty close together, and he kind of leaned over just a little bit, you know, and he had this tremendous swing. If he'd missed, he'd probably turn completely around you. He had great wrists, but he would step in as you'd make the pitch. He'd try to time his stepping into the ball.
From the great Bambino to the childish Bambino, Juan Soto is up next on our list.
And Juan Soto has just gone deep, and the Nationals take the lead 3-2 in the fifth.
What Soto does really well is he maintains his head position, much like a Tony Gwynn, so he can handle the strike zone very well. Doesn't have a lot of movement. Many times you see a lot of guys with leg kicks, big weight transfers. It's pretty simple.
While his nickname and raw power evoked comparisons to Babe Ruth, their batting stances couldn't be more different.
The most peculiar stance, barring maybe Stan Lopata, that I have ever seen, but it worked, the human corkscrew. Musial applied without all of the theoretical underpinnings that Ted Williams had, the same principles, hips, hands, feet, torque, drive from the hip.
He had a very unique batting stance. He would coil up almost like a cobra would, and then spring out of his stance and hit line drives all over the field.
It was a whole body assault on the ball and on the pitcher, and it sure started ugly and finished pretty.
Up next on our countdown, it's the late, great Joe Morgan.
Nellie Fox and I worked together my first year in the major leagues. He was a player coach for the Houston Astros. And I would hit a lot of fly balls to the warning track. So we needed to get the ball out of the air. We wanted to stop hitting fly balls. So we wanted to remind myself to remove my elbow from my side. So I would do this and it would just automatically go to the right place. And then when I did it in the game, I got 3 hits the first time I did it. So the reason was to get the ball out of the air.
The Joe Morgan batting stance is the elbow. I mean, that's the flapping of the elbow for Joe is what's the signature element of his batting stance. You know, that close to him, flapping the elbow there. That is the signature aspect of that left-handed hitter, number 8. Joe with the flap. Boom.
Coming in at number 20, number 2, Derek Jeter.
Base hit to right field. Here comes Richardson. Here's the throw from Markakis. Richardson is safe. Derek Jeter ends his final game with a walk-off single. Derek Jeter, where fantasy becomes reality. Did you have any doubt?
I think how high he held the bat. I think how consistent he was in his stance. You know, that was the one thing about Derek. Derek never really changed. He kept with that, and he stood tall, and he was a lot bigger than I think people understood. You know, when you think about a shortstop, I mean, he was 6'3", and you know, he was over 200 pounds. So, you know, the consistency in standing tall is what was intimidating.